Greetings, Fright fans, and welcome into day 6 of our Howling Halloween countdown here, where we're celebrating werewolves this year. So, yesterday we looked at the film Late Phases, a newer werewolf movie. Let's pick tonight's movie here at random and see what we're going to look at tonight. Give it a good round stir there. Check it out. Here we go. What are we going to get? Tonight's going to be I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Michael Landon stars as a troubled teenager named Tony Rivers, who has serious anger issues over the untimely death of his mother, coupled with an inattentive dad who works long, late hours. He frequently acts out and gets in fights at school, which keeps him on the principal's wrong side. One night he snaps and attacks his friend Vic, played by Kenny Miller, who was playing a harmless prank at a Halloween party. He decides to take his principal's advice and seek counseling with a local psychiatrist, Dr. Brandon, played by Whit Bissell. But it turns out Dr. Brandon is anything but a typical psychiatrist. He's been experimenting with hypnotherapy in hopes of regressing mankind to its primal state. He sees Tony as the perfect test subject and begins a series of injections and hypnosis on him. He urges Tony, while in a trance, to remember how it felt to run in the moonlight and hunt like an animal. That evening, Tony changes for the first time, and thus begins the rampage of the teenage werewolf. He attacks and kills a fellow student named Frank, who was taking a shortcut home through the woods. The local police are stumped as to what could have caused the death. The following afternoon, Tony sees a student practicing gymnastics in the school gym alone, and while watching her, the school bell rings, triggering his change once again. He attacks and kills her, but is spotted by a number of students who recognize the Letterman jacket Tony was wearing. Teenage Werewolf is a fun film. It's one of the more unique origins in the werewolf genre. It was released in 1957 and directed by Gene Fowler Jr. for AIP. The makeup by Philip Shear is top-notch and unique looking with its giant, drooling fangs. Michael Landon is terrific in the lead role, and this is an essential film in the genre. Every time I watch it, I can't help but think of the Cramp song of the same name, one you should all listen to right now if you're not familiar with it. 5 Skulls. I Was a Teenage Werewolf, a true classic in the genre. 5 out of 5 Skulls, my highest rating. If any of you out there have not seen I Was a Teenage Werewolf, I highly recommend it. Of course, it's kind of hard to find, believe it or not. There's never been a proper DVD or Blu-ray release. It's this whole rights issue. This actress named Susan Hart was married to producer James Nicholson, who put this out. Nicholson Archive put this film out. When he died, he left the rights to a handful of films, including I Was a Teenage Werewolf, to his wife, Susan, who refuses to release them for whatever reason, much to the chagrin of classic horror fans everywhere. We really wish we could get this film on proper, really nice Blu-ray release. Maybe that'll happen one of these days. I don't know. But in the meantime, it is available on VHS, and it does pop up online. I don't believe Turner is showing it this year, but maybe somebody else will. I Was a Teenage Werewolf, worth tracking down. Find one of those VHS copies, or maybe somebody else stick it up on YouTube. Maybe. Anyway, it keeps getting yanked down if anybody does. But if you can find it, definitely worth watching. One of the best of the genre. Be sure and join me back here tomorrow night, and we will look at more werewolf films as we celebrate the Halloween season of 2018.